All right, hey everybody. I just wanted to do a quick video here, real simple, real direct, and address a couple of things that continue to come up over and over again as to what I believe and why I make these videos in the first place. I'm not going to get into all that I believe right now. This video is more going to be on why I make these videos, but I will say, at least basically, I'm not a dispensationalist. I'm more of a covenant theology person, if you know what that means. I'm not premillennial. Closest thing I believe is more the amillennial view, but I'm not Roman Catholic. I am an evangelical Protestant, quote unquote. I go to an evangelical, Bible believing, gospel preaching church just about every Sunday. A small church in my area, 300 people. And trust me, they're Bible believing. They're not wackos. They're not weirdos. Um, I attended dispensational churches growing up for 40 years plus. I was basically indoctrinated in that view, so I know all about it. Um, it wasn't shoved in my face, but I was taught it throughout my childhood and teenage years, college years, early adult. And about 20 years ago, I started changing my mind about some stuff across the board. So I make these videos not for any kind of gain whatsoever. I'm not looking for attention. I'm not looking for, trust me, there's no money in this at all. In fact, none of the watch people that I monitor and criticize are making money from YouTube either. It's extremely difficult to make money just off of YouTube advertising. So, no, money isn't really what's going on here for any of these guys. Mostly, I believe it's for attention. And so I focus on them um, for a couple of reasons. Here's another quick thing. No, I have not been hurt or burned by anyone. No prophecy guy like sucked me into his or her cult and then disappointed me. So now I'm hurt and angry. Nothing like that has ever happened to me. Like I said, I grew up in this system. Now you might say, well, you left the system you grew up in. Are you bitter about that? No, I'm friends with everyone. I still talk to my former colleagues. We have many of us have great relationships where we debate healthfully over these things. A lot of my family believes dispensationalism and pre-trib rapture and millennium. So no, I haven't been hurt. Occasionally, I do get angry like anybody else, but that's not the reason. So again, although I don't believe in a rapture of the church into heaven to escape 7 years of hell on earth, that is not the focus of my videos. I have done a few videos debating the rapture concept, debating the pre-trib rapture concept. I have a few videos like that, but most of the time, my videos are based on holding people accountable, calling them out, showing another side to what they're saying, showing where they're wrong and where they are lying and where they are using people to get their own gain. I feel like right now it is a travesty what's going on. So for the first time in history, we have a mass media, YouTube and Facebook and other social media, where anybody can just create a channel and start creating content and get that content out to multiple people. I mean, in the old days, for hundreds and hundreds of years, if you wanted to reach a lot of people, you wrote a letter. I mean, and you sent it around to everybody. Then with the printing press, you wrote a book and just all this stuff. Well, now we can have just anyone. And so what's happened is we have this giant surge of false teachers, false prophets all over the internet. A bunch of people who think now that they have YouTube, I can just speak for God whenever I want and say whatever I want, have a great time with it. And then, if it fails, oh, well, had a great time. I'll just do it again. Everybody will forgive me, right? I think that's really hurting the church. How is that helping the church? How is that building and edifying the body? So I'll get into that. And so I have 6 reasons that I make these videos. All right. So here are their sins, the sins of the watch people. All right. So first of all, you see our little guy over here has got the end is near placard, and this crazy guy that everybody, it's kind of a cultural thing. We all know this crazy dude who's always like, the end is near, running around town, the end is near. And of course, you just get used to seeing that person. They never go away, and neither do we because the end never comes. Um, and you see the joke this person's making. The end is near slash, out and then here. This guy's like, hey, this guy may finally be onto something. He's holding a newspaper that says war, mayhem, and uncertainty. Well, if you look really carefully, you'll see that the date on it is 2012, 10 years ago yesterday. And, you know, I'm just pointing out that even in the world, this meme, this idea has been around forever, as well as people saying, hey, you know what? Maybe the end really is near or here because look how bad things are. Okay. This is not exclusive to the church or to rapture watching. People in the world think about this stuff too, and they make up stories and movies and cartoons about it. So, guess what? He was wrong 10 years ago, wasn't he? So he was crying wolf. So here's the big thing, guys. How is it helping the testimony of the church and the gospel to get on YouTube all the time, every day, some of these guys, and say, Jesus is coming soon, get saved, because you don't want to be left behind for a 7-year tribulation that's coming any second. You're going to be judged if you don't get on the ark. And then it doesn't happen because we all know what soon means. All these people mean the same thing. The rapture is going to be here. Could be today, tomorrow, but probably within the next several weeks, months, maybe a year at most. I've pretty consistently seen that that's the time frame we're talking about. Is about that long. Any shorter and it's too short and they're held accountable. So they don't want to say like every day, "Oh, it's tomorrow." "Oh no, it's tomorrow." "No, it's tomorrow." No, that's dumb because there's too much accountability. They have to stretch it out long enough so that they have time to enjoy themselves with all the attention they're getting, but they don't want to stretch it out too far because if it's too far down the road, then everybody's mad. They want to be told that it really is soon and they want to be given assurance that, hey, I'm getting out of here soon. That's the whole point of this. Well, when they do that and they tell the world and it keeps failing, why should the world listen to Christians and the gospel and the real truth when we keep lying to them all the time? Do you know what crying wolf means? People that don't know what that means, you need to go look that up. Number 2, by focusing on the wrong thing, they distract believers and persuade them into complacency. Matthew 28 is my reference. I'm going to go over there. And in Matthew 28, we get a little bit better of an idea. Jesus never said, hey, disciples, when you go out into the world, make sure you proclaim that I am coming soon and that people need to get ready, otherwise they're going to face a tribulation. Jesus never said anything like that. None of the apostles preached like that. None of the apostles said anything like that. They preached the gospel of salvation from eternal death. They preached sin. They preached Christ, the cross of Christ. Paul said, I know nothing save but the cross. Really, Paul didn't say, I know nothing save that Jesus is coming soon, did he? No. Jesus came and said, all power is given unto me in heaven and earth. Jesus is king right now. Jesus has all power in heaven and in earth. That's authority. Right now, today. He said it 2,000 years ago. It's given to me. That's one of the other things I believe that people don't accept these days in the church. Many churches say, well, no, he's got power, but he's not really exercising it yet. I mean, obviously, look around you. There's sin in the world. Okay. I still accept what it says there. That's the literal verse. All of you literal people, all power is given unto me. What does Jesus want us to do? Go and teach all nations, baptizing them, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. Basically, make disciples. And I think in one of the other gospels it actually says, go and make disciples of all nations. So so they're focusing on the wrong thing. They're not focusing really on the gospel. They're not focusing on any discipleship whatsoever. If they're focusing on some of the right things, it's get people saved and then just move on to the next person, because that's all that matters. And so what happens is believers are saying, hey, you know what does it matter what I do in this world? I'm not going to make it a better place. It's just going to get worse. Why should I help? Why should I do anything in my neighborhood or in my community or at the national level or what? Because it's all going to go down in flames anyway. Look, we're less than a year away from being gone. So what difference does it make? Now they'll pay lip service. They'll say something like, "Well, you need to occupy," But see, when you tell people to occupy until I come and keep going and keep preaching the gospel and do what God wants you to do while you're also watching, but then 99% of your video content is he's coming soon, he's coming soon, he's coming soon, he's coming soon, and then you have people that make disgusting videos like, hey, there's not going to be ever any peace in the world. It's all heading for war, and anyone who says otherwise is a fool. I mean, really? That's the job of a Christian, to go around preaching war is inevitable and we can't nor should we do anything about it because somehow it's against the will of God that we get along with one another? So that just is permeated throughout all of the teaching that these people do. In fact, it gets even sicker when they start to say, hey, it's really exciting, isn't it? Well, what's exciting? All the war coming in the Middle East, isn't that exciting? That's disgusting, you guys. That's not right. God wouldn't want someone to do that. Number 3. Hello. By proclaiming God as the author of their speculation, they use God's name in vain. You know what? That's pretty offensive to people like me. That's why I make these videos. Number 3. If you get on YouTube and you say, God told me to tell you this, or God has shown me something that you need to hear right now, or God made me a watchman, and that's why I make these videos, because he called me into this ministry. And so what I tell you is what God has told me to tell you. You're a prophet. You are taking God's name and saying, God told me to tell you this thing, so you better listen. And if you doubt me, you're a mocker and in sin and clueless and asleep. You're taking on the name of God here. This isn't playtime, guys. All these people think this is playtime. Hey, easy to make a YouTube channel. Easy to run your mouth. Easy to find something in the news to talk about. It's easy to say from behind a camera, God told me to tell you this, and if you don't listen, you're a mocker. That's easy. That's why I challenge people that get on my channel, or I challenge any watchman watching me right now. You know where my email address is. It's on my channel. Email me and we'll get on the phone and talk. We'll get on live stream right now on a Zoom call and just stream it on YouTube. No preparation, nothing. Just come on YouTube right now, live. We'll talk right there and then. It doesn't scare me. By the way, if I end up being proven wrong or made to look silly, I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. So no, you don't get to just use God's name, my Lord and Savior. You don't get to use his name just to speculate, and then you're wrong, and then you just go, well, who cares? People who make big, important claims that God has told me that the end of the universe is near, then they need to be held accountable for that big, important claim they just made. It's not playtime. And you're making the Christian church look like a bunch of morons. And people who have zero credibility and people who have zero, awe of God. There's no respect. Number 4, why I make these videos. This 4th sin of the watch people is probably the most egregious one I have seen. So I'm not ordering these in order of importance, right? Many of these watch people will preach the true gospel of grace. Many of them will, as a side note on their video. By the way, until about 5 years ago, none of the watch people even preached the gospel. J.D. Farag, go look at his old videos from, before 5 years ago or so. Just never said a word about it. Isn't that interesting? most of them still kind of tuck it in at the end of the video. So they have like a 30-minute video, and at the end they're like, "Oh, by the way, get saved today. ABC salvation. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, bye." And they'll even say things like at the beginning of the video, they'll say, "At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how to get saved. So stick around for the good part." And I'm like, excuse me, you say that you do these videos to bring people to the Lord. That's what you say. You claim that. And then most of the time you don't even give the gospel. If you do give it, you tuck it in at the end, 30 minutes after you've been running your mouth. Why aren't you doing it up front? What if we don't have 30 minutes left before the rapture? I thought the rapture was any second. How do you know these people aren't watching this 5 weeks after you shot it, right? Or whatever, or if you're live streaming. How do you know you have 30 minutes? So I'm just using your logic. You say the rapture's any second. Put the gospel up front. So, but here's what they do. They do a worse thing then, and they preach a false gospel. Here's the true gospel. Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel, which you have received, by which you are saved, if you keep in memory what I preached to you. For I delivered unto you, first of all, that which I received. Christ, Jesus, died for our sins according to the Scriptures. He was buried, and he rose again the third day. That's essentially the gospel. Believe in him. It's a gospel of believing, and that's all. But you have to believe because you know you are guilty of sin. If you don't understand that you're guilty of sin, then there's no point in believing anything, because that's what Jesus saves us from. But here's what those people do. The same people who teach a gospel of grace, no works, just grace only, and they get angry when anyone anyone suggests at all that people ought to be repenting. How dare they? And so, meanwhile, they turn around and they basically preach a gospel of prosperity. It's kind of the cousin of the prosperity gospel. They say, yeah, the news is scary. It's unbelievably scary out there. And here, the bad news is it's going to keep getting worse. It's going to get worse out there. We're going to have more government control. The New World Order is going to take over, blah, blah, blah. You're all going to die, blah, 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 because you take the injection, whatever, just name it. They're constantly doom and gloom, and they say it's only going to get worse. And I know it's scary, but here's the thing. Get on the ark. Believe in Jesus to get on that ark, so you're out of here with us. You really need to do that, man. You do not want to be here. How many times have you heard them say that? Just about every video. Thousands of times a year. Is that the true gospel? No. True gospel is not. Your life is going to suck, or your life does suck, and Jesus can make it better by getting you out of it. That's the prosperity gospel in a nutshell. What's the prosperity gospel say? Does your life suck? Are you poor? Is your health failing? Jesus can heal you and give you riches, make your life better. That's all these people are saying. That's not the gospel. I don't care if we live in a world that's got zero war, zero poverty, zero famine, zero disease. Everybody's healthy, wealthy, and wise, and loving life and living to 150 years old. We all need Jesus Christ because we're all damned if we don't. That's what the gospel is about. It's the bad news is you're damned. The good news is Jesus did the work. So watch liars, quit lying. Quit giving them a false, escapism gospel. Number 5. 2 more to go. By jumping on every hype cycle, the watch liars are mixing worldly ideas into spiritual ideas and spiritual teaching, and only providing power to the enemy. This one's real quick. So basically, you often see them delving into areas of conspiracy theory. For some reason, the end times people and conspiracy theories go hand in glove. And whenever we jump on a new one, just pick what's the latest thing. What's the latest big hype thing that's going on, the latest big conspiracy theory that's happening. They jump on every one of these, and then they say, and Jesus is coming. And it's like, you know what? The world loves to talk about conspiracy theories. The world loves to talk about how powerful the evil men and movers and shakers are behind the scenes, and watch out, they're going to get you. And the world loves that. That's a worldly idea. Jesus is king. Jesus is in control. We're not to be afraid of those people or the darkness. We have the light. Get out there and be light. And by putting more and more emphasis on, yeah, man, yeah, 9/11 was an inside job or whatever, you're just giving more fuel to the fire, more fuel to the distractions. And so finally, number 6, and this one is just irritating. I'm not a mocker and a scoffer. Just because I don't agree with your version of news events, you've been wrong 100% so far. I've been right 100%. Why am I the mocker? I'm just questioning you. Am I allowed to do that? Yeah, I'm commanded to do that. We are commanded to judge, all teachers and prophets. I'm to be judged for what I'm saying here because I'm teaching something. So judge away. My channel is wide open. You're not mocking me if you just say, hey, I don't agree. I think you're off base. Here's why. In fact, please do that. Get on my channel and say that. I'll have a discussion with you. It's not mocking and scoffing if you disagree. 2 Peter 3:3-4 is talking about people who scoffed and mock at the Lord, not people who speculate about the end. And, I'll just show you that chapter here. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts. A couple things real quick. The last days. When were the last days? Every single person I've talked to that follows eschatology will say, well, yeah, the last days started 2,000 years ago because every apostle and every writer of the New Testament says so. So couldn't this be talking about the day of Peter when he said something about it? Yeah, it is. Where's the promise of his coming? In judgment. When's he going to judge? I don't see him judging. I don't see him doing anything. I don't see the temple being taken down like he promised back on the Mount of Olives. I see the temple still standing there. For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. Who are the fathers? Who talks about fathers? All you literalists, have I ever said one thing even remotely like that? Hey, ever since the fathers fell asleep, who? What fathers? George Washington? It's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who the fathers are in the Bible. Let the Bible say what the Bible says. That's what the Bible means by fathers. This is a Jewish statement, but even if it relates back to today, I'm not scoffing by disagreeing with you. I'm doing my job. We are supposed to be disagreeing with things that we find disagreeable, and you can disagree with me. That's not scoffing and mocking, and it's certainly not walking after my own lusts. I don't have any lusts here. Those were Jewish people who were trying to hold on to their power. They were the Pharisees of the day. They were trying to hold on to power. The temple system was making them rich. They were walking after their own lusts. So that's what I have to say about that. I hope this helps. I hope you see it as a sincere effort to reach out and give you guys some information about myself so that you understand where I'm coming from. Thanks.